Good luck, Tommy.
Game on. The Oilers win it 7-4 over the LA Kings. What a game that was. My goodness, it is absolutely bonkers here at the Canadian Ice House. Tom with you live on location after the Oilers turn this thing into a series. Hernan Salas back at EST Global HQ on the city's west end, and Reid Wilkins will be stopping by. We have another treat for you. One of our local celebrities insists on providing a little special something. We will get to him later on. Matt Kassian will be stopping by as well to break things down. Edmonton, my goodness, man, what a roller coaster ride of emotions. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. Hit that thumbs up button. You know we appreciate that so very, very much. My, oh my, what a game that was. Hernan Salas, what are your thoughts on that one, dude?
Oh boy, what a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, Tommy, they don't make it easy.
No, they don't.
I mean, I know we got lots to discuss. They got the start they wanted. LA's game, man. They're not going to go away. I know we're going to get to it. A very odd challenge by the LA Kings ends up costing them. But all in all, Tom, a much better effort. The PK still leaking for sure.
Yes.
Still some breakdown. It's interesting because I thought in the first period, first 12, 13 minutes was all Oilers. Then you started to see them get sloppier and sloppier and sloppier. And, you know, the two power play goals, sure. The fourth goal is just awful. Cannot happen. You can't be that loose.
Brutal on so many different fronts.
And Wallman beat a horrible goal. Kudos to Moore for scoring with one hand on the stick. Tom, I mean, a lot more good than bad compared to the first two games.
Yep.
Still not, they're still not playing where we want to see them. But hey, at the end of the day, it's Friday night. It's been a frustrating week so far with the Edmonton Oilers. They won the damn game. They're back in the series. They win Sunday, Tommy, and we got something brewing here. So good on them. They were able to find the goal. Good for Evander Kane. And Tommy, man, wow. Like I'm just all over the place. Like I don't even know where to go.
I'll tell you what, in that first intermission, Hernan, like it was great. It was nice because it's playoffs. There's more media here, a lot more focus. The vibe in the intermission, in the first intermission was outstanding. And then in the second intermission, things were like ice cold, man. Yeah. Ice cold. Everybody in hockey ops from the Oilers not saying a word, walking away, staying away from everybody. And I was like, these guys are in trouble and they know it. I'm not going to say who sits behind me from the Oilers in the booth, but they probably put 17 holes in the drywall of that booth. That's how much like banging the wall, kicking stuff, throwing stuff was going on. And then sure enough, in the third period, the Oilers get the goals that they needed, come up big, get some saves from Calvin Pickard. I didn't think he had a particularly great night, but he does get you the win. We're going to obviously talk about it with Cass right away here. So I'm going to go through the scoring summary. I'm going to get you the game stats, and then we're going to welcome in our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with game. He did game changers earlier, but the breakdown. Of course, GCL Diesel, our presenting sponsor on the postgame show, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Like I said, I want to see those texts. I want to get your thoughts on this game. Nasty chat, do your thing. I'll try to take a look at the nasty chat. Not sure how much of it I'm going to get to, but let's go look at the scoring summary before we welcome in Cass. The Oilers get the party started very early. This was fantastic how they started this game, but you knew with the Oilers' defensive play in this series, you never expect them to hang on. I'm just going to say it. With the way they're playing defense, you didn't expect them to hang on, unfortunately. So Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at 2:49, his first. There he is. Nice to see him score from Hyman and McDavid. Then it would be Evan Bouchard at 8:43. That building got wild when Bouchard scored. Power play marker right off the face-off. Draisaitl the assist. About time the power play woke up. About time. However, at 17-18, who else? Adrian Kempe gets a chance to go in. He lasers one top shelf on Calvin Pickard, his fourth already of the playoffs from Doughty and Kopitar. 2-1 Oil after one. People are feeling good. Things are all right. They're, carrying a lead into the second period. However, at 5:43, Kevin Fiala gets one on the power play, so the Oilers' PK continues to be awful. Fiala's second from Kempe and Kopitar. Then Drew Doughty would give the Kings the lead at 15:07. The point shot that he sifts through. Warren Fogle in front. Nobody boxes him out. It was Evan Bouchard working on him or being around him, however you want to describe it. Another power play marker. Doughty's first from Moore and Deneau. However, you would get Connor Brown picking up his first of the postseason. Nice play by Evander Kane, working it down low, coming around. No look backhand pass to the middle. Brown, Johnny on the spot. He flips it over. Darcy Kemper. He's got his first. Kane's first of the postseason, point-wise. Henrique also getting on the board. That line, I like some of their shifts tonight, for sure. Goal comes at 17-19. 9 seconds later, this is a problem. 9 seconds later, Trevor Moore walks around Jake Wallman and one-hands it by Calvin Pickard. An absolutely atrocious goal on many fronts. Killed the high and the vibe that was going on as fans were still celebrating the goal. Moore's first from Edmonton and Deneau. 4-3 Kings going into the third. Like I said, the vibe around the press box from the Oilers and the staff, ice cold, man, and for good reason after that goal. Then in the third, Evander Kane at 13-18. This one a bit controversial. Did he kick it? Did he not kick it? It was ruled good. Then there was the challenge. It was ruled good again. His first of the postseason. Second point from McDavid and Wallman. Then it would be Evan Bouchard on the power play at 13-28. His second of the postseason, second of the night from Draisaitl to give the Oilers the 5-4 lead. And then Connor McDavid into the empty net. His second of the playoffs from Hyman to make it 6-4 at 18-20. And then the Oilers, Podkolzin fires it down the ice. Connor Brown hustles. He tucks home his second of the night. This one into the empty net. 7-4 is your final. 8 seconds left on the clock when Brown tucks it in. 7-4 Oil. Shots on net tonight. 36-29 in favor of Edmonton. Faceoffs 59.3% to 40.7 in favor of Edmonton. The power play 100%. 2 for 2. The PK 0 for 2. Awful again. Hits 39-31 Edmonton. Block shots 29 for the Kings, 14 for the Oilers. And then you've got 14 giveaways officially for the Oil, 10 for the Kings. Takeaways officially 4 apiece, but the Oilers get the win. That's the most important part of it. The process, not pretty. No. The end result is all that matters there. All right. We'll get to some texts as we get set to welcome in Matt Kassian. I'm going to rattle off a couple here. Rip City Step says, never in doubt. Trev, how many doubts did I have? Every single NBA and NHL team that led 2-0 in their respective series lost today. That one from Rip City Step. Then we've got Andrea says, Dusty called the empty netter this morning. CB radio guys, Tommy, how can you say Pickard didn't have a good night? First 2 goals go off sticks before they get to the net. I'll give you the Moore goal. Should have not have had that. Pickard made the saves. Skinner hasn't. I will happily disagree with you. I think goaltending is still an issue.
Come on, guys. Like, I get, okay, you might not like Stuart Skinner. The first 2 goals were exactly the goals that were being scored on Stuart Skinner in the first 2 games. Exactly. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the worst goal of the night of the series is on Calvin Pickard with one hand on the damn stick. Like, if we're going to break it down and we're going to talk about goaltending, yeah, they won the game. But let's not sit here and pretend Pickard was great. Sorry.
All right.
No, and they played so much better in front of him. They played so much better in front of him, too, right, Hernan? Like, they played better in front of him. Now, you start Pickard in game 4 because you won the game. Yeah, great. But if anyone's like, well, Pickard's the reason they won that. No, he just about lost you the game. The reason they won that game is the reason that you lost game 1. A coach made a horrible decision. And hey, I'm happy for it. They won. That's awesome. I mean, I thought they were done. But they battled back and win this one. But yeah, no, Pickard was fine. But he was fine. That was it. He was fine.
Yeah.
Like no one could say, oh, he made the one big save. No, he didn't make one more big save than No, the Oilers gave up about 30 less grade A chances, which is a good thing. We should be happy about that. I am happy about that, but
sure.
No, you can't sit and pin this win on Pickard, just like you can't pin the other losses on Skinner. But you won the hockey game. It's a positive, great thing. Some guys started producing some offense. Evander Kane getting in there, which was great, fellas, and ultimately a huge win to pull you right back into the series.
Man, oh man, Cass, I'm going to tell you what, it was super tense up there in the press box in the second intermission, because you could tell, you could just feel the game slipping away from the Oilers, and kudos to the entire team for showing resolve and digging deep and pulling it out in the third period, but it was tense up there, and for good reason, because I'll say this, and Shoggy brought it up, when the Kings started to get some goals going, he even said, he's like, when was the last time the Oilers threw a hit? And I'm like, first period? And it was like 8 minutes into the second at that point. Funny that there's that recipe there. Cat's like, why did they get away from it?
I don't know. Nerves. I mean, lack of confidence. Just momentum swings in the game. Maybe just running around a little bit too much. From a positional standpoint, when you're not in a good position, you're not finishing your hits. I don't know why they got away from that, because it seemed to be they were a little more successful when that happened. But I think that, to me, was a mark of intensity, right? And we talked about that before the game, about how we didn't really truly see intensity from the Edmonton Oilers in game 1 or 2. We saw a lot more intensity tonight. We did. And when they got away from that, LA got rolling a little bit more.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nacho, if you got something to say there.
Yeah, guys, great point, Cass. But the PKs, you know what's interesting, guys? Because on the 2 power play goals, the Oilers did a really good job for the first minute and a half, right? They were pressuring them. They were kind of making them make that quick pass. LA was having to move the puck a little bit quicker. But the goals came late in the power play, which is just one of those things where I feel like LA's power play is just in that groove where everything's going in. Because I thought initially, guys, maybe you might not agree with me, but I thought up until the goals, they were doing a pretty decent job compared to the other games. The goals just came late, right? Like one's on a shot from Doughty, the other one goes to Fiala. He's all alone. What did you guys think of their PK today, even though it gave up 2 goals once again?
I'm just going to say bad, because the end result is 0 for 2. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you killed 90% or 95% of the power play, but you still let one in. You still let another one in. It's still automatic. It doesn't matter if it's the first unit or second unit, right? Like it's still not good enough. Still not good enough. And especially now with your power play starting to get a little bit of traction, where you put a couple goals in early, maybe create some doubt on the Los Angeles Kings and their ability to kill a penalty in their heads. You need your penalty kill to be better. It wasn't good enough. But you found a way through it. And you're going to have to find a way to sort this out. Like you can't have guys have that free looks with that much space on a cross crease play.
Right.
Like, and it's a little different than when Leon Draisaitl gets those one-timers. Because that one-timer, it's like a quick backdoor play. It's like these guys are getting that and they're walking in like 3, 4, 5, 6 feet. Like they're staring at the goaltender, just like picking where they want to go with no pressure on at all.
But Cass, did you like the strategy of them pressuring more compared to the first 2 games?
Well, I think that did help.
Yeah.
I think that did help. And that's, I think, why you got the kill later, but it just wasn't quite enough. Again, the execution at the end of the penalty kill. And I think on both of those, from a timing standpoint, it was at the end of the penalty killing shift. So you have tired guys, right? And when you're pressuring a little bit more, a little bit tougher to do it, you get a little bit more tired. Sometimes that's when seams open up. And we see that happen with Edmonton when their power play is clicking and firing well, as even if a team is pressuring and not giving up anything, sometimes it's towards the end of that shift for them where your legs are a little bit tired. You can't stop and start as well, that things open up. And I think that's what you saw a little bit. So it was a better job slightly by them, but the end result is still the same. You gotta got to find a way to kill those off. Or Pickard's got to find a way to make the save. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Am I right?
It's incredible how right you are, Cass. It's the breakdown with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. The breakdown brought to you by Southport Chev. Buy now and save 0% financing, OAC, up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s. It's that time of year for seasonal tire change service. Mention that EST sent you and receive an on-rim tire change for $59.95 plus tax. And it's also a time to get a big discount on inspections when you get your tires changed, so they'll do that for you as well. See dealer for details, www.southportchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot at Southport Chev. Great to see all the nasties that are here. VR Montenegro is here. I see Corey B. They stuck it out for a bit. A couple more nasties. This is awesome. Great vibe here at the Canadian Ice House. So good to be back on location. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. If you have a question for Cass, myself, Nanso, or just a comment, critique on the game, we want to hear from you. Here's one from Jimmy O, you guys. Jimmy O says, should Knobloch take some players who were in because of their penalty kill skills out because the PK sucks? What would you guys say?
Who's Max Jones not going to kill penalties? I'm just going to say this. Thank you. Don't even say Kasperi Kapanen, for the love of God, because I'm going to drop one of these right away.
Well,
that's the only other. Who else is out there? Kasperi Kapanen, Max Jones, Jeff Skinner. And
Derek Ryan's kicking around too.
So, yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of options, guys. And if I say the name, Tommy's going to kill me. So I'll just leave it. At that.
You just leave it. Yeah. Well, no, they're not making any switches on that. You're not switching anyone unless Matthias Ekholm is healthy enough to step in the lineup. You're not making any kind of switches. I took a comment. I can't remember who it was from. Stacy something, saying, guys, you're just talking too negative. That was the gist of what was being said. You're talking about all these negatives. Why are you talking about all these negatives? They won the game. Let's get to the positive things. What were the biggest positives that you guys are taking from this one? Like first thought, coming out of it, they get a big win. Yes, the things on the penalty kill weren't great. Pickard wasn't great, but you found a way to win. What's the number one positive thing aside from them just getting the win for you guys tonight?
I'll go first on this one. I'll go first if I can, Hernan.
Sure.
I like the resolve that they showed finally, and I know they showed it in game one, but they hung on. They hung on, and they didn't have that backbreaker like we saw in game one. I love the way they fought. I'll give them credit for that. And I also like the fact that they went out and took the lead and dictated the play for a while.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm going to say secondary scoring, boys. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who is MIA. Connor Brown finally cashes in. Evander Kane, a huge goal, enormous goal. Our boy Bouch, 2 on the night, right? So, I mean, that's what you need. Draisaitl, I think he had an assist on the night, or maybe 2. But you didn't need Draisaitl McDavid to go full awesomeness from those 2 guys. You got contributions from other players, and that's what this team's going to need going forward if they want to get back in this series.
Cass?
Yeah, that secondary scoring, that to me is the biggest thing. You had other guys contribute and chip in, other guys be a part of the offense, which is huge. And I think that Evander Kane obviously is the biggest one. And he looked way better tonight, guys, didn't he? He looked way better tonight. Yeah. And I think you saw it with one of those first hits, like where it was like, okay, no, he's in it a little bit more, right? Because I think game 2 rather, like it was. He was trying, but it just wasn't quite all there. And I don't know if that's just getting up to speed. I don't know if that's just maybe some hesitation for how his body's going to react to contact. I don't know if it was just that penalty that he took early on in game 2, but he just, he had a lot more jump tonight, was around it a lot more tonight. And quite clearly, scores the biggest goal of the season thus far for the Edmonton Oilers to tie the game and force Hiller to make a horrible call on trying to I don't even know what he was trying to do with that.
Okay, I'm glad we took it to this point, Cass. I'm glad you led us into this because Reid Wilkins just sent me a text. He was working the locker rooms. Obviously, Reid texted in, said Hiller says that they felt it was goalie interference, so they challenged. He said sometimes you lose and it cost them big time. So they thought it was goalie interference. It was crazy.
But to me, that was like, it was so slim that you were going to actually get a call on that. Like you had a guy pushing another guy into the goalie. You don't see any kind of movement from Kemper, like from his body, from Kane hitting or spearing or slashing. Like, especially with the call on the ice being, it was kicked in, where it was like the call on the ice was kicked in. So, you knew there wasn't a major point of contact from the goalie or from Kane and the goalie. I thought it was horrible. I like the idea of calling a timeout at that point. Like Edmonton has, they may tie the game, have the momentum, call the timeout and take another look at it to really see. But I just saw I was like, there's no way this is getting overturned. To me, it was just a foolish call. And I know they'll say like, oh, you win some, you lose some. It was a bad call. But yeah, it was horrible. I don't understand why that decision was made.
Hey, it benefits the Oilers in the end. They get the goal. They get the win. Tense moments for sure. And honestly, I understand that. But, like, you never know with this league and the war room and the calls they make and the refs. You just never know. So I kind of understand where Hiller's coming from. He's in desperation mode. And ultimately, bad call. Bad call.
And he believes in his PK, right? And he's probably saying, guys, let's just take the chance because, we can probably close this out if this goal's, for some reason, Toronto calls it off, right? So it's going to be fascinating how this series goes, boys, and how much we're going to look back at this call. Because this could be an absolute game changer for the Edmonton Oilers right here, right? So we'll wait and see, but I'm kind of with you guys. Like the interference call, like when you look at it, like Kane did nothing wrong. Kane did a pretty good job actually to try to not, make contact. And Kopitar was kind of on him, right, pushing him in. So for the first time, I think this season, boys, I was pretty confident the goal was going to stand. There wasn't one moment where I was like, "Ooh, I don't know how this is going to go." I was like, "There's no way they're calling this off."
Well, they didn't, and it holds up, and the Oilers get the win 7-4 tonight in Game 3. We've got ourselves a series here. Tom Gazzola live on location at the Canadian Ice House. Matt Kassian back at his satellite studios, and Hernan Salas back at EST Global HQ. Patty Ketty just came by from the Ice House. You're crazy, man. What a party. What a party. Look at you smiling. You're smiling. Connor Brown, baby, is what Patty's saying. All right, I want to get to this text. Get your thoughts on this. This comes in from Matt. Hey, what's up, Gordo? Matt in Nanaimo says, being assertive and aggressive, not waiting for the play to come to them is the recipe for success. Thank you for that, Matt in Nanaimo. Garth Vader, great handle. Garth Vader says, the PK looks solid tonight. Agree with the Louis DeBrus, couple unlucky ones that changed the direction. The Oilers' power play was lethal. They gave looks that were disguised as the same PP they've rolled out, but completely different. Bouch scored 2 power play goals from spots we've never seen him from. Garth Vader with that text. Cass, what can you say about the Oilers' power play that goes 100%, 2 for 2 tonight? Unmute, Cass, unmute.
Oh no. Or no, as my daughter would say when she falls off her bike. Or no. They shot the puck, guys. They moved it quick. They shot the puck. They got it to the net. That being said, probably should have been an interference penalty on Leon Draisaitl. But okay, we'll take it. We'll definitely take it. Should have been interference. We'll take it. But Bouch shot the puck, ripped the puck. Just full on bang-a-rang, lets her go, and the puck's in the net. And I think that for me is I think that kind of set the tone from a power play standpoint, which it usually does. Like if you are aggressive early on, which is a Galitzin thing. Normally they try to, but if you're aggressive early on in power plays at getting the puck to the net, it just opens up so much more of the ice. So yes, they were absolutely successful. They're successful quickly on the power play, which was good. Like that there was aggression kind of right from the start of it.
I had a thought, but I lost it. I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody keeps coming by saying hi, which is fantastic. We're here at the Canadian Ice House, live on location. Great to be back here. Again, okay, there was some more text that I want to get to as well. Keep those coming in, 780-218-9999. Louis says Kane's puck touches were much cleaner. JB also wants to know, what do you guys think of the fake with the nuclear option, then flipping Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl. Like, we were so sold on them going nuclear again, and we saw it a few times, but really we saw Nugent Hopkins get a bunch of shifts as well. What do you think of the deception and the gamesmanship that we're starting to watch from the coaching staff from the Oilers?
I kind of liked it, guys. I kind of liked it that you're switching things around a little bit. You're forcing, especially with the Danault matchup, where it's like LA's really trying to get Danault out there against those two if you can. You're just forcing them to be not just on their toes, but I guess kind of on their toes and a little bit more aware, where you're thinking about it more, you're having to pay attention to it more, and you're just kind of rolling with it. No, I liked it. I
loved it too. As soon as I saw that first line go out, I was like, yes. And now, like Tommy alluded to, they did go nuclear from time to time, which they always do, but it's always nice when you can separate them. It makes the matchups harder for LA, of course, because it's not just Danault or the Kempe line going up against McDavid and Draisaitl. Now you got to split them up. So I loved it. That sneaky little Chris Knoblauch, I tell you guys, he's messing with us.
Totally redeemed himself. I'm just kidding. All right, let's get to a few more texts here. We're going to go inside the Oilers locker room and hear from Evander Kane after a couple texts. Let's go to this one. Says, big win. Finally got away from the harmonica anthem, and the boys started hot as a result. They got to go back to Stu. No, what would you say to that? Because I think they're going back to Pickard.
You won the game. You go back to Pickard.
Yeah.
You won the game. You go back to him. Like, why are you gonna switch it up? And again, I don't think Pickard played great, but he played average. He almost lost you the game, but you still won. So you're gonna put him back in.
Yeah. Hernan, do you want to take a crack at that one, or are you good?
Oh, good. I agree with Kaz.
Okay, I'm going to read this one from Al, then we're going to go to Evander Kane inside the Oilers locker room. Al says, hey, Tommy, I think it's time to get Adam Henrique off the penalty kill. He doesn't have the foot speed to keep up to how LA has their power play set up. Maybe do the tip it and have Draisaitl out for the face-off and increase Podkolzin's minutes there. Also, Frederick was 35% scoring chances for. He needs to come out. You can see him laboring. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do. I think they're inclined to keep him in with Frederick, but the PK thing with Henrique, Cass, what would you say?
Say it one more time. Read it to me one more time.
All right, I'll read it. This is from Al. Says, hey, Tommy, I think it's time to get Henrique off of the penalty kill. He doesn't have the foot speed to keep up to how LA has their power play set up. Maybe do what Tippett used to and have Draisaitl out for the face-off, and then increase Podkolzin's minutes there. And then he added the Frederick 35% scoring chances for when he was out there. Al says Frederick needs to come out, in his opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Frederick one at the end is what threw me off. I was like, he's not on the penalty kill. Yeah, Henrique, listen, you don't have many other options. You can't put Frederick on the penalty kill. He can't skate, turn very well at this point.
Yeah, and I think he means in general, right?
Yeah, just in general. But who else are you going to put in? You could try to increase Podkolzin's minutes there, but he's not a guy that has regularly killed penalties all year. So I don't know. And you don't want to put Draisaitl in. I know that sounds really nice. And if you're down a goal, you can do that. But, how many minutes can you have Draisaitl and McDavid play, really? And their minutes are down a little bit because they had the lead, for a part of the game, a good chunk of the game, and other players were playing well, and they weren't chasing the game, so their minutes didn't have to ramp up into the mid-20s. But they're still over 20 minutes for both McDavid and Draisaitl. So it's like, how many more minutes can you feed them? You're not going to do that on the penalty kill, so you don't really have any other options. I mean, Dylan Holloway, maybe anybody?
Just stop it! Stop it! You're being silly goose.
I had to dig that in. They won today. Stop it. Yeah.
Stop. Okay. We're going to go inside the Oilers locker room. Cass, stick with us, and then we have a treat, and I want Cass to be around for the treat after. All I'm going to say is local celebrity, much admired, has something for everybody that he wants to share after we hear from Evander Kane after the Oilers 7-4 victory. Let's go inside the Oilers locker room.
For you personally, 2 huge plays. It's just not unfair. And then the goal. Take us through what was going through your mind. Were you pretty confident that goal was going to count?
Yeah, no, I mean, I shot the puck in the net, so I knew it was just a matter of them seeing it on the replay, and felt good. And then they challenged it, so you never know what can happen in those situations. But it was a good boost for our team, important goal, and then the power play goes out and does its thing, and we're in the lead. So big win for our group. Hopefully give us some momentum going into Game 4 and have a chance to hold serve on home ice.
Did you feel that much better in the game as a result from Game 1?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I did. I mean, I felt okay last game. You never are going to feel perfect when it's your first game back in that long, but tonight in terms of my legs and feel out there, night and day, and I'm sure it's going to continue to get better.
So you're rehab for like 10 months, 2 surgeries. You come out tonight, there's a playoff crowd that's just pretty good. You get a couple of points, you help a team win. How good does this whole thing feel tonight?
Yeah, no, I mean, it feels great. It was nice to... It felt like we'd been on the road for such a long time. We went to San Jose for the last regular season game. We were on the road for about 8 days just to play 2 playoff games. So it was nice to get back in our own beds and get in front of our home fans. And I thought that gave us some energy, especially early on. And we were able to push through and get a nice win.
You guys were able to squeeze this one out tonight, but do you feel like there's still a fair amount to clean up in some of the details if we got away from the lead and such? Yeah,
I mean, obviously we gotta do a better job on the penalty kill. We can't be giving up 2 or 3 goals a game. They seem to be coming at the end of the kill too recently, which was always a blow because you felt you did a good job for the first minute 40, minute 50, and then they score. Just continuing to limit the boo-boos, as I like to call them. But like I said, we can score. We know we can. We just got to keep pucks out of our net.
Evander, there were so many guys missing towards the end of the season that came back right at the playoffs. Do you feel like the longer this series extends, more comfortable guys like you and guys that missed a long time will feel?
Well, for sure myself. I missed a whole year. But, I think just continuing to get back into a groove and getting into playoff hockey. You come back to Edmonton, there's some buzz in the city. There's some buzz in the morning. You go out for warm-up. So I think we kind of got re-energized a little bit. I thought the first 2 games, we were kind of still in regular season mode. And tonight, especially in that first period, we looked like we were ready to go and, had a big push in the third.
Evander, what do you make of all of the kind of momentum swings and huge changes there have been in the series?
I mean, that's playoff hockey. Those are moments that are important, and we had an important moment in the third period, and we did a job. So it was nice to pull through. It's only 1 win. Like I said, we have to take care of business again on Sunday night and try to get this thing tied up 2-2.
The Oilers played like they were still in regular season mode for the first 2 games. Cass, any thoughts on what Evander had to say there?
Yeah, well, I think he's accurate in that the first 2 games they didn't really play playoff hockey, and I think especially in the first he was accurate again there. I thought the first period was their best period overall in terms of their play, and they really did. They brought the intensity finally, so it was nice to see them hit that, and nice to see them push in the third, and just have to see it all over again. I mean, I want to say the next game is always the biggest game in a playoff series until there's no more. But man, if they can pull this thing to 2-2 heading back into LA all of a sudden, ooh boy, things are getting spicy.
Spicy indeed. It's going to get spicy on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show right now. Cass, I told you we have a local celebrity that's going to hop on. He's going to give us a treat. Take a guess who it is.
For me, without question, I was Taran Sandowith.
Taran Sandowith.
Construction.
Yeah, the Sandman. That's a horrible guess, but I like it. I love Sandman.
Yes.
What you're about to hear is going to blow your mind and your ears. It is the one and only Josh Clausen from CTV Edmonton, our dear friend, and he's a nasty, and he's got a little rap for us. Hernan, do we have Josh?
Josh, you there? Give me a sec here, Tommy.
All right.
He should be connected. Give me a sec here.
All right, I'll give you a sec. We'll get Josh on. Josh Clausen insisted on joining us, and he has something in store. I'm looking forward to it. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. It's the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. We got him. Josh, hello. Are you there? Can you hear him, Hernan?
Why isn't it going through here? Hold on.
I don't know. You get that sorted out.
Josh, you there? No. Okay, I'll keep working on it.
Okay, you get it. You get it sorted out. Josh is going to do a little something for us on the post-game show. We'll read some text in the meantime. This one from Northside Sandwich says, I was more worried the kick would get overturned than the interference get denied. I agree with the Kane touches. If the Oilers can keep going, he is only going to get better. I would also like to add that Klingberg looks really good. His poise with the puck is very visible. I had no hope for John Klingberg at all, guys. It's been a pleasant surprise seeing him in these last 2 games. I will say that. Cass, you got some connection issues. We'll get that sorted out. I'll rattle off a few more texts as we await Josh Clausen. Raimai texting in says, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but the Oilers still have to tighten up defensive coverage. LA's little flip dump for some reason gives the Oilers problems. However, overall, better gritty game. Also adds, I don't want to, or no, that's, he just double sent it. Let's go to this one. Says, PK was much more poised, got unlucky on 2 against Arvidsson. Very noticeable tonight. Stu will start. No name on that one. RBM says, good for them to show up guts as well to get back in the series, especially after the backbreaking goal in the second. Facepalm emoji. As far as entertainment value goes, that was an all-timer, no question. Wild game. Love the physicality. Very good sign seeing Kane get in on the offense. That could be a game changer for them. I love that play from Hyman to just demolish Doughty and then head McDavid the puck on the 6th goal. What a play. That text from RBM. Hernan, how are we doing over there?
Oh, everything's connected correctly. So if Josh can hear us, Josh, are you there? Yeah, something's not connecting.
Do you want to send him a link?
Yeah,
see if he can join us that way?
Okay.
All right, that's what we're going to have to do.
We also got Cass back, too. So.
All right, we do have Cass back?
Yes, we do.
I have nasties asking me to charge their phones right now. Unbelievable. All right, Cass. It's going to be Josh Clausen, like I said. You're going to stick around for it. We're going to send him a link. I'm going to read a few more texts. Jill texting in. Jill says, that was a whole different team, and they haven't reached their potential yet. LFG from Jill. The doc says, Dwayne Rollison played great tonight. What do you make of that comparison to Dwayne Rollison?
I'm not at the Dwayne Rollison comparison yet. Tommy, I don't think we can be there yet. We're not there. We're not there yet. And again, it was just an average game. It was an average game. It's just average enough to get a win. Again, if they would have lost the game, the story would have been, you need the freaking save, right? Like, why didn't you get the big save? Yeah. You let the one-hand scoop go in. If Edmonton doesn't win that hockey game, that is the story. That is the story. He let them score shortly after Edmonton, scores a goal. You just let a guy just one-hand shovel the puck right over top of you with a horrible goal. If Edmonton doesn't win, that is the story of the game. So yeah, he was just average. I'm not ready for the Roley comparisons yet. Not yet.
Roley is a god in this city still to this day. Cass, fix up your mic really quickly, and then I will get to a couple more texts. We await our good friend Josh Clausen. Broadway texting in. Broadway says 3 non-even strength goals for LA, 2 power play, 1 4-on-4. Outside of those power plays, I love that big energy, especially on Byfield with about 5 minutes left. Huge save with the huge, but he actually takes in huge pick energy. I like that. Broadway, great handle as well. Let's see what Shaggy had to say today. Shaggy is St. Albert. Haven't heard from him in a little bit. He's down here. Where are we? Oh, Displaced Yukoner's back. Good to hear from Displaced Yukoner. I haven't heard from him in a while. Says, so you're saying there's a chance. Let's go, boys. Mary says, thank you, Evan Bouchard, for figuring it out. Evander Kane, thank you for having giddy up and luck. Thank you, Zach Hyman, for knocking the heck out of Drew Doughty. Empty net goal is the series turning point. That signed off by Twitter Mary. All right. Cass, I'm finding Shaggy to see what Shaggy had to say. I found it. So many texts tonight. Keep those coming in. 780-218-9999. Shaggy says, I give the Oilers a lot of credit for their comeback from 4-3, winning this game, also beating their nemesis, the empty net, twice. Oilers made it more difficult on themselves, blowing a 2-0 lead. The big question is can they build on this exciting win? Oilers were only slightly better than the first 2 games. Power play produced, but PK still leaked a couple of goals. Depth scoring showed up. All this won't matter if Kings win Game 4. Big question is, who starts in Game 4? Pickard was shaky. If you put Skinner in for Game 4, there will be a lot of pressure on him. If he loses Game 4, he will have lost every game he started, and fans will want his head. Cass, what do you got to say?
Well, they already want his head, and he shouldn't start Game 4. Pickard should start Game 4.
Right.
They won tonight. Pickard will start Game 4, even though he was shaky and arguably let in the weakest goal. And I'm not arguably, unquestionably let in the weakest goal of the series. That's the only soft goal of the series was that goal number 4. But yes, there were some things that are still issues. The leaky penalty kill being first and foremost, as mentioned.
Yep.
But they did play mostly better than they did the first 2 games, or a lot better than they did the first 2 games. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, if they lose, they're still back in the same boat because it'll be an elimination game and they'll be in trouble. But you win, guys, and all of a sudden you got the Mo, and you got the Mo heading into LA.
Oh,
Josh is ready.
that Mo. Oh, Josh is ready. Hello, Josh. Can we hear you finally?
Tommy, you there?
Oh, we are here, buddy. We are here. I'm very excited about this. Go ahead.
Guess of Transcendwith was a great guess. And his wife, Wendy, one of the greatest weather people in this city ever.
That's very nice of you, Josh. Very, very nice of you. Turan's a great man. All right, Josh, you have a treat for everybody. It's Josh Clausen from CTV Edmonton, our dear friend.
Listen, I'm not rapping tonight, though, Tommy.
Well, what are you doing here then?
I know I'm singing.
Oh, he's
okay.
Listen, I may have. There may have been a little bit of tequila tonight, but I have a song for you.
All right, lay it on us, Josh. The floor is yours.
You remember little R. Kelly? I believe I can fly. So listen. I believe in these guys. I believe in McDavid and Dry. I'm a Nuge, Bouchard, and Kane. Gonna make a deep run again. I believe they can soar. Gonna bring the cup back to the north. I believe in these guys. I believe in these guys. Say it with me. I believe in these guys. That's all I got for you, Tommy.
And
that was great.
The crowd goes wild, Josh. That was beautiful. I didn't know you had dulcet tones like that. I knew you were a skilled rapper.
Yeah. Listen, it was a big win tonight.
Give us your thoughts on the game, too, Josh, after that beautiful serenade.
No, I completely agree with Cass. That 4th goal was horrendous. And especially the timing of it. You can't give up that goal. But they fought back. A bad call challenging the goaltender interference, but they're back in it. They win Sunday, and it's an entirely new series. And really, if the flutter puck doesn't go in at the very end of the 3rd period in Game 1, the Oilers could be up 2-1 in this series. So, I mean, it's not over till. Listen, I'm a New York Jets fan. I'm a New York Knicks fan. I've seen lots of heartbreak in my life. This is not over.
Josh, you're damn right it's not over. That was beautiful. We love you for doing this. Thank you, buddy. And I hope to see you soon.
In these guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Clausen, CTV Edmonton weatherman.
I believe in these guys. I believe in these guys. Say it with me.
I believe in Josh Clausen. Get him out of here, Josh. Good night, buddy. I love you. There you go. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. Did not expect to have that on the bingo card tonight. CTV Edmonton's Josh Clausen singing his heart out. Not rapping, singing. I believe in these guys, talking about the Edmonton Oilers. Cass, your thoughts on Josh's performance, and then take a look at to Game 4, please.
Yeah, making it rain, Josh Clausen. It was beautiful and wonderful. I love it. Love it. That was great. Oh, man, I'm going to be giggling for a little while on that. So that was amazing. Love that he called in. Love that he sang. Love that it was that. That was just great. Looking forward, hey, you got a little momentum now. The Kings lost themselves a game. The coach lost themselves a game, much like Edmonton. You had their coach lose themselves a game, and it's going to be an interesting one because you're going to see a massive push from LA right at the start of Game 1, where today you had Edmonton make the big push and get up a couple of goals early. So it's going to be, I think, a battle of the first 10 minutes where both teams are really going to press early on. And hey, you need average to above average goaltending, and maybe, just maybe, if you can stop the bleeding on the penalty kill,
yes,
maybe you win another game and you go back to LA 2-2.
Cass, fantastic work as always. I like to say, because it's true. Great stuff. Next time it's Turan Sandwith that's going to be singing and serenading us, I think, right? You tell Sandman. Yeah, it better be. All right, big man, get rested up. Have a great Saturday, and we'll see you on Sunday, okay?
Sounds good, fellas.
That's our game analyst, Matt Kassian, bringing us the breakdown, brought to you, as always, by Southport Chev. Check them out. www.southportchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot. Great people over there. Daniel, Claire, whole crew is fantastic. Did you want to jump in with something there, Hernan?
No, I was just, I'm just laughing at all the messages off Clausen's performance, man. Holy
Oh my God. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, Josh Clausen comes on here. He wants to sing. Tequila will do it to you. You just missed Reid's coming in here. Reid's going to join us. He just worked the locker room, and both coaches. Reid, we just had Josh Clausen come on here.
Oh, was he?
He sang. He didn't rap.
Was he here in the bar?
Oh, no. He called. He called in, and he insisted on singing I Believe I Can Fly, but he changed it to I Believe in These Guys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was something. We'll let Josh sing and not us.
That's awesome.
He tried. Hernan sang with
Hernan.
him.
Hey, Reid, how you doing, buddy?
All
Doing
right.
very well.
Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. Before we get to Reid's breakdown of tonight's game, I will provide the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. At Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. If you have a nagging pain you'd like to see go away, book your consultation today at www.advantagesportmed.ca. Book your assessment and get that checked out. If you got something that's bothering you, your turning point of the game tonight comes in the third period. Evander Kane gets things rolling. I thought Evander Kane was excellent, especially in the third period, starting to find his groove a little bit. Didn't take him long. He said he's good off the couch. So at 13-18, Reid, Evander Kane gets the equalizer. They get both challenges, or the challenge and the review, to go their way. That was instrumental. And then Bouchard goes and scores the empty netter after the Oilers the power play goal. And then they get a couple of empty netters. So to me, it was Kane with the equalizer, gave them some life, gave them some momentum. And I thought he was vintage Evander Kane, despite the fact he's only played one game prior to today in the last year.
Yeah, I thought Kane was excellent. Very involved all night. Some big hits. Seemed to be moving better than he was in Game 2 in Los Angeles. And then he got points. I mean, him and Henrique, hard work down low just to keep the puck alive on the, the third goal. and then just, throwing it into a dangerous area. It wasn't really a direct pass to Brown. I think obviously he was hoping something was going to happen, but I think he just realized, okay, I'm down low, Henrique's down low, Brown is down low, let's put it in the crease and see what happens, and Brown spins and flicks it in. And then what a mucky goal. Just what the Oilers needed at the time, just keeping it alive. You got to have the power to do that. You got to have the ambition to get in there and be in a painful part of the ice. And then you have to have the skill to kick it and then get your stick on it before it potentially would have rolled over the line. Because I had trouble hearing the announcement, but I believe they originally waved it off for being kicked in.
Right.
And it wasn't kicked in. So, I mean, this is it's series on now. We'll see if the Oilers can tie it up in 2 days. But you look at these games, no shortage of goals, no shortage of power play goals. The Oilers finally got on the power play tonight. And look, since it's a big topic, the goaltending in this series has not been good.
No, both sides.
I mean, the Oilers have changed goalies. I said you give Kemper the nod as being the better goalie in the first 2 games because he won.
Yep.
You give Pickard the nod for being the better goalie tonight because he won. And after he let in the stinker by Moore,
that was
bad defending by Wallman, and then a bad goal against by Pickard. He didn't face a lot of shots, but he made a big save on Byfield when the game was still very much in question. And then that save on Kopitar was epic. I'll have to go look at the rebound.
That was a one-timer.
LA wouldn't have had enough time to tie it, but he still stopped it. It was still a great save. But man, oh man, what a game. It was so, I thought I usually don't pay a lot of attention to this stuff, but in the playoffs, I want to know what the hype song is going to be and how well edited the video is.
Right.
And Party Hard last year was great. Yep. Welcome to the Jungle. Very well done. The crowd was phenomenal. I got to hand it to the 18,500 in the rink tonight. They were right into it. There wasn't really nervous energy when the Kings went ahead 4-3, maybe a little bit, but it wasn't a huge sag. I think I thought anyway, they kept believing. Yeah. And honestly, on the 2 goals 10 seconds apart, that was as loud as it was in the Cup final last year.
You think it was that? I didn't think it was that loud.
Well, maybe I'm just getting old. I thought it was very loud.
It was super loud. People maybe wanted to celebrate.
I guess maybe not as loud as some of the goals in the Cup final, but it was pretty loud. It was very, very loud. So the crowd was into it.
Yep.
I mean, just a wild game, and hopefully we're in for at least 3 more in the series.
Yes,
because the Oilers are going to need 3 more at least to get the win.
I'll tell you where there was nervous energy, and I don't know if you took a stroll around press level. That second intermission, man, was night and day compared to the first intermission. Everyone was in a good spirit, having a good time in that first intermission. Second intermission, it was crickets, man. Did you stay at your seat?
I stayed in my seat the entire time.
Yeah, you were talking with Iwanek, but it was like, don't talk to me. Everybody had the stoic, don't talk to me face, and rightly so, because the season was on the line at that point. So good that the fans and the crowd got into it, didn't have the nervous energy, and they left it for the hockey ops department, because they were definitely feeling it. I can guarantee you that.
Here's the thing. If you're... I don't know what it's like to be an NHL GM, but if you're Stan Bowman, you got Frederick still limited, I think, but better tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got Jake Wallman. You gave up quite a bit for Jake Wallman.
You did.
He has not had a great series. I mean, it's all about team results.
Yes,
but he has not had a great series.
He's been exposed defensively. Yes. I don't know if it has anything to do with his injury. I talked to him a little bit today. That day that he went out, he said he expected to play that night, and then they just said no, they're going to sit him, and they ended up sitting him for a few more games. So that to me was interesting. But you're right, he has had his struggles defensively.
Yeah, I mean that more thing, you got to seal that off at the blue line.
Right. And he gets outmatched physically too.
And then he got he was out of position at the blue line, got outpowered going to the net.
Yeah.
And then yes, you kind of need your goalie to stop that, but that's one of those situations where it's like smarter defending, that opportunity doesn't even happen.
That's a good point. Okay, we don't have, or do we have any interviews yet, Hernan?
We have Draisaitl locked and loaded.
Okay, I wanna ask Reid his sense of the rooms and what we're going to hear from Leon, and then what you thought of the coaches' interviews as well before we get to Leon.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think, so who spoke? Draisaitl, Kane, and then Bouchard and Brown were at the podium.
Yep.
I really sensed kind of the same thing that the way Leon was after game one he spoke? I can't even remember now. So it's already becoming a bit of a blur.
I think he did speak.
They're not, like, the Oilers are not panicking. And look, I'm not saying they're going to win the series, but if they lose the series, I don't think it's going to be because they shrink from the challenge. I think it'll just be because they get beat.
Right.
I mean, and they did say, I think Brown said the first two, or maybe it was Kane, one of them said the first couple games they didn't play like playoff games. They played like it was still regular season.
Kane said that.
Okay, you played him already?
Yeah.
And then they said, maybe there's a certain amount of that the players who were coming back from injury needed a game or two to really get back up to game speed and then get into playoff shape. So we'll see.
Okay.
I mean, if they take over the rest of the series and win it, then we'll know that that's for sure. But that's what they're saying right now. Knobloch, and they kind of deflected.
What?
Draisaitl was asked about, so is that a play now with Bouchard? Is that something you guys picked up on? And he was like, no, I'm not saying anything about that. And then Bouchard was like, I don't know how often I'm going to be close to that net.
Right.
But I thought the Kings got infatuated with McDavid. McDavid was so far behind the play. And then Bouchard just skated between the defensemen untouched and tapped it in. They went to sleep. And I think it's because they were still thinking, why is McDavid not carrying the puck up? What's going on?
Right.
Hiller said we thought it was goalie interference and we challenged it. He didn't give any specifics, like he thought a pad was slapped. Guys, that was a terrible challenge. That was an arrogant challenge by Jim Hiller.
An arrogant challenge?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, how do you think you're going to win that challenge? And yet the game is still tied. The game is still tied. I mean, maybe if that's to go down a goal, you're thinking, okay, we can't be down one with 6.5 left.
Right. My guess would be you don't know what goalie interference is anymore. It's a 50-50 in your mind. You go for it. That would be my guess for the rationalization.
But I didn't think that was 50-50 myself. I mean, I didn't think they had a hope of winning that challenge. Again, Kane did nothing to prevent Kemper from making the save.
That's fair.
So I didn't think he was gonna win that challenge. So I thought that was a really poor challenge by LA, and we'll see what
an arrogant challenge. I like that.
Well, it was. I mean,
I like that. I think
that's a fitting word in that case.
Fair.
But yeah, they figured it out. I mean, that's all. There's always going to be mistakes. There's always, and here's my thing that I said all week: the Kings are rolling. They are feeling it.
Yep.
I thought the Oilers' penalty kill did a good job, but they got scored on. So the first Kings power play goal in the second period, they had 2 chances to clear the puck. Nurse tried to slap it out, and I can't remember who it was, held it into the line, and then Wallman was going to backhand it out, and then he changed his mind, and then he backhanded it out, and it didn't get out. So then I think that goal, then when the Oilers did clear it, the Kings brought it back in and scored.
Right.
And I think that was the product of the Oilers being tired. They didn't clear the first 2, so they couldn't change. They didn't get all the way down the ice when they did clear it, and they kind of got pulled over to the bench side of the ice.
Yes.
And it was Fiala that went in and scored. And then that Doughty goal, the Oilers almost had it killed off. And Drew Doughty, when a player shoots, he's always hoping to score.
Sure.
But I don't think Doughty's shooting to score. He's shooting crap. There's 15 seconds left in the penalty. I better put it at the net.
Hope
right inside the post.
Yeah.
So that, that was the most worried I was, where I was like, crying out loud. Like they're just getting pucks right inside the. It's hard enough that Fiala and Kempe and guys can pick their spots and put it far down,
which they have been.
Doughty's putting it off the post and in when he's just trying to dump it behind the net, maybe.
Yeah, but there's guys like that are special.
I know.
Those are the shots that they make seem like it was just by accident, but they're just that good. They have that little something that nobody else does. There's so few of them that do. And
but the Kings fought back. They played well. They had the lead, and Jim Hiller was asked something like, "Are you concerned that you've had leads in the third period that have either been lost or threatened?"
Right.
And he cut the reporter off, and he's like, "Sorry, are you asking me if I'm excited that we have third period leads? That's what you actually mean, right? That I'm excited that we always have the lead?" Yes.
That's a bit arrogant. I think.
I've been watching more Jim Hiller interviews this week than usual because that's who they're playing. So we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. I think, to me, like, if he's interrupting and saying that, I'm like, okay.
I mean, I understand how he's selling it. He's like,
Sure.
well, he's like, yeah, maybe we've blown a lead, but we have to have the lead to have a chance to blow a lead. So
fair enough. Okay, let's go inside the Oilers locker room. Leon Draisaitl up first. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Nenso, hit it.
How do you think you guys sort of managed to stay in it?
Well, staying with it was great. You got to have some of that against that group over there. I thought we did a good job of just sticking with it and waiting for a chance, and obviously dug in there in front of the net by Kaner, and it's a big goal. So yeah, take the win and move on.
What's going through your mind when you have not one review but two reviews on that tying goal? Is there nervous energy on that bench?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you want the goal to count, and yeah, you're just sitting there, praying that it'll count.
When you're sitting there, like, you watch it every time and converse, you just kind of say, I'm not even going to think about it because I have no say.
I'm more of a, I'll look at it, but I don't really like think about it too much. Whatever decision they make, they're going to make regardless. So, luckily went in our favor tonight.
The power play goal with Bouchard, was that something that you'd done before, planned out, or did it just
I'm going to keep that private, maybe.
The power play made a bigger difference tonight. What changed, if anything?
Well, I mean, we just connected on our looks. Went 2 for 2. Timely goals. Yeah, it was good. We executed well.
Leon, considering all the guys that were missing towards the end of the year, now that are back, you feel like the longer the series goes, you guys get your timing back, your win back, everything kind of.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we had a couple guys that, lots of guys actually that haven't played a lot, right? So I think the longer this goes, you could see Freddie coming a little bit tonight. He had his legs going, Kaner, getting up to speed. So I'll put myself into that group as well. So sometimes it takes a little bit. This is intense hockey right off the bat. So, but obviously, yeah, we don't have much time. But however long we can drag it out, it's certainly in our favor.
You're going to look back in the series now. Obviously, a big game on, game 4, right back in the series. Just give us a thought on how you guys feel now after.
Yeah, it feels good right now to get that win, but it's not gonna do much if we don't follow it up, right? We got to follow it up in 2 days here, and take this back to LA 2-2.
Leon, you talked before the game, guys, that there's some areas you want to give. You wanted the power play to click. You also wanted to limit the kind of the gift goals that Chris talked about. Didn't really give him any easy ones tonight, not as much as last.
Yeah, maybe one, that we would like back, certainly time-wise. But yeah, I thought we were a little more detailed and a little sharper away from the puck.
What do you make of the massive momentum swings in this series?
Yeah, it's been crazy. Feels like the series in the past with them has been kind of more low-key, and it's always been the same rhythm and the same type of flow within the game. These couple of games have been more of an up and down roller coaster for both teams, I think. So, fortunately tonight was on our side, but yeah, just looking to follow it up.
What did today's victory say about the group in this locker room tonight?
We got a lot of character. We're going to go down swinging if we go down, and we've created that approach here. We've created that attitude within this organization, and we're not going to back down until we're out.
Leon, Kemper all season only allowed 5 goals twice in a game. You guys have done it twice in 3 games here. You feel like you guys, confident you can get to him?
Yeah, I mean they defend well, but any goal in the league you can score on. That's just the way it is. Our goalies are no different, right? You got a lot of great shooters around the league that can score from distance, from in the tight. So he's a good goalie. They defend well. It's a good mix, but we'll continue to chip away at that.
Evander Kane misses the whole season. Second game back here, he creates 2 moments. He creates the one goal, ends up scoring the other. Just a thought on him having that impact after missing the whole year.
Yeah, it's first of all, it's hard to do. Nice to have him back, of course. He brings an asset to our lineup that we don't have a lot of, and he's obviously a guy that doesn't overthink these big moments, right? He wants to score and he wants to play, and very very happy we have him back.
Over the Los Angeles Kings. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. It's Reid's Reid. Reid Wilkins joining us here live at the Canadian Ice House. Of course, Reid's Reid brought to you by Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf and Curling Club. Fall in golfers. Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club is open to the public. Memberships are still available. Join the ranks today and experience top-tier golf with a proud military tradition. For more info, visit egmgolf.com to enlist. Anything else that you can glean from what Leon said? Is there anything there that you caught that maybe you didn't get the first time around?
No, I don't think so. I mean, like I said, they still believe. I think the Oilers believe that they're going to get better each game.
Right.
And what did he say? Any goaltender can be scored on.
Well, sure.
Now we're deep enough into this series. For the most part, you can throw the regular season stats out the window.
Right.
Kemper's save percentage in the regular season, meaningless. I thought the Oilers could get to him. They've scored 5 on him twice.
Kemper
he did make some really good saves tonight. Still gave up 5.
853 save percentage tonight. Coming into tonight's game, Kemper not particularly great. Listen, game 2, the 2 goals against helped his averages, but his averages weren't particularly great, especially after the first game. So I mean, he had a 350 GA, 863 save percentage in those 2 games.
Yeah.
Those numbers are going to get worse.
Yeah, the Oilers just, they got to figure something out on the PK, which I think to some extent they did tonight.
Yeah.
They just couldn't clear the puck on that one, and Doughty's puck had eyes on the other. They weren't getting... They weren't getting sliced apart, just cross seam, who's going to shoot it like they were in the first 2 games.
Was it Kulak and Emerson on the Fogle breakaway? That's something that's going to...
That was a set play by the Kings off a neutral zone face-off wing.
And you know who does that? Dallas, too. That was something that Rope Hintz has pulled off on the Oilers. Maybe that's a pre-scout that the Kings tried to execute.
Look, it's a good thing Klingberg's playing well.
Yeah.
I think Emerson's clearly the number 6. He's probably the guy that's going to have to be sheltered a little bit. He's not great with the puck. But he hung in there. I don't question how anybody's battling. By the way, I thought Brett Kulak was outstanding.
He has been this entire series, I think.
He just makes smart, subtle plays over and over again. He doesn't gamble in the offensive zone. Yes, he wants the puck and he can shoot. He doesn't force shots through or put a muffin on net like Nurse might sometimes. He'll try to get the best shot away. I really liked his game. And then Klingberg again played pretty well, which is good. I don't know what all the plus minuses were.
I can give you Klingberg's if you'd like.
I mean, Kuzmenko and Kopitar were -4. The Oilers
was having a great series to this point.
The Oilers didn't have anybody minus, so that's good. Klingberg wound up playing 17:49, had a shot on goal, 5 other shot attempts.
Even.
He's passing the puck. And it got Bouchard's minutes down to 20:51, which is probably good.
How about Darnell tonight? 26 plus.
And again, he plays hard on guys. Him and Kulak. To me, the safest I feel defensively is when Kulak and Nurse are on the ice together. Okay, and I'm not saying they're perfect. I know Darnell gets caught sometimes, but they work pretty hard. They're staying on the right side of the puck, and they're generally pretty good at clearing pucks. And the Oilers were better at that. There were a couple tense moments where they turned the puck over at their own blue line, but they survived them. I don't know if the Kings got a goal directly off an Oilers turnover. The two power play, the 4-on-4 that the Oilers didn't defend very well.
No, that's true. McDavid was guilty of doing a flyby
he's
wrong
looping
side.
around. He's looping around looking for a breakaway.
And he knew it. He slammed his stick, too.
Yes. and then the Moore goal. So yeah, they made mistakes, but they didn't get burned on them, and there were fewer mistakes. Correct, tonight. And I still think the Kings didn't make a ton of mistakes. They turned it over more than in the first couple of games. So that's for like, it's going to be such a fine line. The Oilers got to limit those mistakes. Don't allow the power play goal, and maybe wouldn't be amazing if you had a game where you only allowed 2 or 3 goals. You know?
Oh, that's a lovely concept.
Yeah, that'd be
not
an incredible
happening.
Concept. Not happening so far in this series, but they got to keep working towards that.
All right, Reid, let's take a look ahead to Game 4 on Sunday. I know you outlined some things that need a little bit of work, but do you think the Oilers have shifted momentum enough in their favor that they're in a good spot, or do you think it's still leaning towards the Kings?
Well, I don't think there's a lot of game-to-game momentum in the playoffs. In-game, there's certainly momentum. Game-to-game, there shouldn't be. Because if there is and you're the team on the wrong side of it, you're not going to last very long.
Right.
So the Kings still think they're fine. And the Oilers still think, we just win another home game and it's a best of 3. And odds are we're going to win one in LA eventually.
Right.
I think both teams have a strong sense of belief, but I mean, obviously it's important for the Oilers to get, because if it's 3-0, I mean, yes, they might win Game 4, but they're not winning the series. So now the interest is really there.
Dale McMillan, cameraman extraordinaire.
You know, they got the lead, even though they lost it. They finally scored in the first period.
Yes.
They got to Kemper with a variety of different goals, quite frankly. The power play clicked, so a lot of things we were hoping would be good for the Oilers have now worked. So at least, I mean, like I said, they always have belief, but instead of them thinking, well, I believe we can do it because we did it against San Jose in early April, now they can say, I believe we can do it because we just did it to this team 2 days ago by the time we get to Sunday. So I think that's important. And I gotta say this.
What?
What were the lines at the morning skate as compared to the lines in the game?
Different.
Knobloch was messing around.
Of course.
He was messing around. McDavid, Hyman, and Nugent Hopkins was a line, which is what I thought it should be.
Right.
Kane, Henrique, and Brown had that was Brown's best game by a mile.
Yes.
So some guys hopefully are waking up. But I love that Knobloch did that. Oh, they're together. Oh, no, they're apart.
He's been playing
and Nude scored.
The game within the game for a few weeks now. Pretty obvious.
Yes.
And then people get all bent out of shape about the lines. That's what happens because we're so used to this guy, that guy with that guy. Now he's throwing that out the window.
Here's something else to remember. You guys might have talked about this, but we've talked about it this week. If the series keeps, if the Oilers can actually tie it up, and then it's going to be at least a 6-game series.
Right. The
LA Kings are a deep team.
Yes.
So they don't use all their players.
No, they don't. They don't use a fourth line, and they don't use...
Right.
Well, Brant Clark, I thought, played quite a bit today. Did he not play?
Jordan Spence played 255. Brant Clark got up to 11:34.
Yeah, that was way more than he did before.
That's a little more.
I did notice him a bunch, though.
the fourth-line center, played 231 and got away with a blatant hit from behind on Perry.
Yes, he did.
Lewis played 301, and is it Malott?
Malott, yeah.
Played 439. So their top nine's pretty good, but they don't use forwards 10 through 12, and they don't use their bottom D as much. So if the Oilers can make this what's going to be a 6-game series, maybe that pays off in the end, that the Kings don't go deeper in the lineup in terms of their usage.
One thing about the Oilers in the... There we go. People are pumped up. One thing about the Oilers, at least their MO last year in the postseason, they got better as the series each went on. It seemed like they learned from their opponents, they adapted, and they executed. Maybe there's some of that here. Also, I know you love Brant Clark. He's one of your favorite young NHLers. And I want to say, I
can't wait to watch him for the next 12 to 15 years.
Yeah, well, I noticed him a lot more today. He's adapting very well to playoff hockey. Reid, sure. You were fantastic as always,
before
my
you
friend.
go, trivia.
Yes, Hernan.
Courtesy of Brian Swain. Let's see if you two can get this.
Okay.
Evan Bouchard, third Oilers defenseman since 1990 with 2 goals in a playoff game. Can you name the other 2?
That is a really good question. I don't know if Clefbaum ever did it, of recent vintage.
You're close.
Was it a guy that I covered?
Yes.
So in the last 6 years.
I think I know.
Unless it was in 2017 and I can't remember. Did Adam Larson? I think Adam Larson scored 2 goals in Anaheim.
Yeah.
That's
and then,
one.
Bergeron.
The other one's from the early 90s, and he wasn't a big name.
Norm McIver.
No.
Bookaboom.
No. Brian Gwynn in 1992.
Brian Glynn.
Wow.
Glynn. Yeah.
That's a deep pull.
I would have thought some of those guys in Dallas, somebody would have done it. Or did Mironov play playoff games? Didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did. No, he did. But like Brian Glynn would have been part of like the 91, 92 teams that went to the conference final and kind of like on a hope and a prayer from what I can recollect. I don't know much about the 91 and 92 teams. I just know they went to conference finals, lost to Minnie, lost to Chicago. And I talked to Mac T about the 91 team a little bit. And a bit the 90 team, but they kind of get forgotten, don't they?
Yeah, because they were already sort of declining.
Yeah.
And I think they might have been third in the division both years and made the conference final.
And then they got swept in both. Did they not? I know Minnesota
beat them in 5. I think the Oilers won the first game.
But Chicago
swept them. I think one game might have gone to overtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one
Brian
more for
Glynn.
you guys.
Okay.
Kane and Bouchard's goals within 10 seconds are the Oilers' fastest 2 goals in playoffs since Anderson Simpson, 10 seconds apart versus Winnipeg in 1988.
What a swing that was. I mean, it was just amazing in the building.
Yeah.
That whole sequence, like cheering I mean, they got to celebrate 4 times because Kane scored.
Yep.
They survived 2 reviews, and then Bouchard scored.
Yes,
that was incredible.
Okay, maybe it was that loud, but by then I was already walking over here, kind of keeping an eye on the plaza and everything. Reid, fantastic work as always, my friend. Josh Clausen serenaded.
I got to go back and watch it. Like, even my buddy Zip texted me and was like, epic appearance by Josh.
Yeah. He had a couple of tequilas and sang to us. He serenaded us. It was an absolute treat, just like having you on tonight.
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm enjoying doing Reeds for Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf and Curling Club. Somehow I always find myself back in a pub post-game.
Well, you're going to be doing it again on Sunday, so buckle up, big boy.
Thank you.
All right, Reid Wilkins, phenomenal stuff as always from our boy Reid Rick. You can catch him Monday to Friday on EST on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Have a beer, have a tequila, have a...
Tequila!
There you go. Tequila, he's not having it. He's going home. He's tired. He put in a long day of work. Have a dart, Hernan says. He says he's going to have a dart just for you,
Nice.
Nancito. Okay, Nanso, anything you want to get to? I know we have some text probably, and then we'll wind things down with the player of the game and this and that. Okay. What do you got?
No, Reid made it's kind of the point I was trying to make, that the PK was better. They still gave up the goals ultimately, but I thought Reid really broke it down. They were tired, right? And that break when Wallman kind of just gets it out, but not far enough. And Sunday's going to be interesting, man. I'm more intrigued to see how LA responds and how they respond to what was a horrible challenge. Listen, LA is going to defend it. Their coach is going to say all the things. Oh, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. We really believed it was interference. Tommy, this could be a shift changer, man, in the series.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I'm blown away that he challenged that, because worst case scenario, kind of what we discussed in the first game, go to overtime, man. Give your team a chance, right? And then 10 seconds later, Bouchard scores the winner, and that's all she wrote. So very interesting.
Hey, now that's Hiller making a mistake. Who had the mistake in game 1? Chris Knobloch, keeping his guys out too long, going for the kill. So both of these guys have made mistakes in crucial moments late in games, and it's cost both teams. So here we are. Neither guy is perfect. Neither guy is immune to making mistakes in crucial moments. All right, I'm going to rattle off a couple of texts. Hernan's going to give us the player of the game, and then we're going to say goodnight. Absolutely tremendous night here at the Ice House. So many old friends, new friends, nasties are here. An absolutely awesome time. Thank you to everybody who's listened and watched tonight. GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show live from the Canadian Ice House. Let's go to Adam from Lloyd. Says, hey, boys, not a masterpiece by any means, but They got it done. Pickard made some huge saves, but I think the whole team all around leveled up their play. I still think there's another level to go, but they got the W they needed. Kane has outplayed all of the new guys after not playing hockey for a year. What a stud. Refs were...
Skill issues.
Oh, no, that's not the right one. Refs were... again tonight, I thought the Oil would get some calls tonight on those obvious infractions, but them, I guess. I hate Kempe. I want a Bushbaum to take his whole top set of teeth out. Man, I hate that guy. Good win. Mixing the water tonight, boys, because I haven't. Pre-game beers to Captain Morgan Spice Rums, and now indulging by the fire. What a beautiful night. Let's go Oil Country. Potato Salad Jesse says, Bouchard said to Gene on Sportsnet after outside the locker room that Dry called that play and they were looking at some footage. I fully believe that. Leon responded as well. Let's go to Burgerler. Says the hockey altogether itself is absolutely trash. Guys flopping everywhere. Officiating horrendous both ways with zero consistency. Goaltending below average at best. Brutal defensive play. Stars coasting on the back check. Coaches with bad decisions. Absolute trash series so far. My goodness. Burgerler with some harsh critique of this series. And then Twitter Mary says Josh Clausen needs to go no gas and some breaks from Twitter Mary. Well played, Twitter Mary. Well played. All right. Let's get to the player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Hernan Salas, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, it's great to give it to this guy, man. He's had a long journey back. Scored an enormous goal, was really good in this game. He's only going to get better. Evander Kane is going to get the Damon Bunting Player of the Game for the agency. 1 goal, 1 assist, +1. Only 13 minutes on time on ice, but for me, Tommy, he was just around it. 4 shots on net. Evander Kane gets it tonight, my friend.
And the crowd goes wild for Evander Kane, receiving the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. Damon Bunting now with the agency. All right, couple of texts to wind things down. JB says, can you please ask Dennis Bernstein on Sunday about how their video review calls have gone this season? Maybe Hiller has reason to believe in the video coach's calls. Yes, JB, I can definitely do that. Not Fred says, can someone tell me why the Oilers players are trying to put sticks on shots by tipping their blade so it deflects the shot up? Pee-wee players are even taught to have your blade straight up and down so it doesn't just deflect a shot top corner. And then Coach Mike says, Reid, have a quick take on the Habs-Caps game. We missed out on that. Coach Mike added, Pickard late stop gives him some confidence going into game 4. Probably. Yeah, it's the party's going here. It's not slowing down. It's a rowdy Friday here at the Canadian Ice House.
People are asking if you're going right into Hello Hockey, Tom.
Yeah, well, I probably should go right into Hello Hockey. We have John Scott joining us tomorrow on Hello Hockey. David Pagnotta and Jackie Redmond is a tentative yes. I was talking with Jackie today at the rink. She has to do an interview with Kopitar at some point. I don't know if it's a sit-down long form or if it's just a quick one-on-one, but she says the intention is yes. We'll see if we can get that done. That would be a great Hello Hockey, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, that's great. It's great already. It'd be just me,
Belsey, John Scott, Jackie, Dave Pagnotta, Benny Thompson, right?
Hell yeah!
I love it. Nancito, any final thoughts from you tonight?
Hey, man, they're back in it. Sunday's a huge... Every game now is going to be the next big one, obviously. We'll see if the Oilers can head back to LA tied at 2. Never count these boys out. They pulled it. They almost did it in game 1. They did it tonight. Good on them. They're getting better and better now. A lot of goals by both teams. Whoever buckles down defensively is going to win this one. But Sunday is going to be great, man. Can't wait.
Bring it on. We have ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen. The Oilers get the win. 7-4. Patty Ketty from the Ice House. Quick word, Patty. We got 1 minute, buddy. We got 1 minute.
I don't want to go on.
Okay, you don't want to go on here. Patty Ketty, big thank you to him and the crew here. It feels like we're back at home. at the Ice House. We're going to do it all over again on Sunday. Come join us. As always, we welcome you. Some nasties have a table over there. I think VR Montenegro, Corey B, and a couple others have been putting in a shift, that's for sure. A big thank you to everybody who listened on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, of course, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player, whoever watched on YouTube tonight. You guys are awesome. We appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. For Matt Kassian, for Reid Wilkins, and the Latino Heat, Hernan Salas, I'm Tom Gazzola at the Ice House saying, have yourselves a lovely Friday night. Join us on Hello Hockey tomorrow from 10 to noon, and then we'll see you Sunday right back here at the Ice House for Game 4. The Oilers win it 7-4 over the LA Kings, and they trail 2-1. Buckle up, baby. I think we're in for a long one. Have a great night, everyone.